All right, guys. In this trek into DIY tech, this is gonna be another blast from the past. So this video is actually from 2018 when we still had the Makerspace open. We had an XYZ Da Vinci or Da Vinci Junior. Anyway, that's how old this is. I can't even remember. I don't even know if they make them anymore. If they do, I will put the link in the description so you guys can check out the website. But these printers, it was an an enclosed printer, and sometimes it was hard to see inside. But anyway, if you walked away from it, you didn't know what was going on in there. So if the print failed, it would just continue to print, and you wouldn't know until you got back to it. So this was a way for me to monitor the prints in there remotely. But anyway, back in those, I mean, we're still doing what we got to do to get it done. This was a good example of that. How we did things back in the day. Still had a limited budget, still do today. So anyway, here you go. You hope you enjoy this one. All right, guys. First project of the new year. We're going to set this thing up. And this thing meaning the 3D printer so that we can remotely watch the prints. So that way we don't have to come in and check the printer every time. I can remotely check it from my laptop anywhere, wherever I am. We had a 14-hour print that didn't make it because our filament got tangled up. So I'm going to set this up so that, and I'm going to show you guys how we're going to do it here. I'm just going to use this double-sided tape and this old C160 Logitech camera. So we've got better cameras now, but the C160 is still really good because I can focus it in. It has a fixed focus, well, not a fixed focus, but you can actually manually focus it, and it's going to be a stationary throughout the whole print. So it'll work perfectly for this application. And for the remoting in, I'm going to use TeamViewer. TeamViewer works really well. I've used it on several other projects like fish, monitoring the fish in my backyard and things like that. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys what this looks like here. These are all the components we're going to use. And we have the C160 camera right here, Logitech. It's still on, so you can see here. That's my hand, but you can peek in there and see what it's going to look like eventually. And we've got some double-sided tape, and you can find this in different widths, as you can see. So we have 1 inch, 3/4. They also come in different strengths, so you can have the industrial stick double-sided tape. This is just the regular strength double-sided tape. You can, in case we need to extract the camera again, we don't want to use the industrial strength for this one, so we're just going to use that guy. We've got wire cutters. We've got 2. So these are really cool. You can use these in conjunction with some tie wraps. You stick this somewhere, wherever you want to run the cable. So we're going to stick this inside of here like so that we can run the cable all the way down through this gap here and out here. And this is where we normally use to open the door, and it just conveniently makes a convenient spot to bring the cable out. So this is not going to be a permanent installation yet. I'm going to try it out for a little while before I actually make a permanent install of this camera, but this will get us there for now for testing purposes. And we have our tie wraps here. So all of this stuff you can find at Home Depot, with the exception of the camera. Camera we got on eBay for a very good price, since these they're so inexpensive now that the newer ones, well, you get it. eBay, you find whatever you're looking for on eBay. So I'm not going to bore you with the step-by-step, so I'm going to go ahead and do the install, and then we'll come right back to the video for the final. I'll show you how everything got wired up in there. Okay, so there you are. Just put this tie wrap up here so you can see the little squares of double-sided tape that I stuck on there. So I stuck them in there, stuck the camera on top. What I did was I had the application open and I set up the build plate right about halfway, right in the middle, so I can make sure that I had a full field of view while it was printing. And I just adjusted the camera lightly on the double-sided tape, and then once I had it in a good position, I just put this tie wrap right around it to just keep the pressure, keep the camera right up against that double-sided tape, and that's holding it really well. I wound up using just one of these cable ties. So you can see there, I just needed one, and the cable was just right around there. And we'll try closing the door. See how that feels. Look at it, worked out just perfectly. So just making sure the seal is good all the way around. So it looks like the spacing is good and everything. It didn't affect anything. It's not closing on the cable itself. So that's good. And it fits right in that little gap. So now we'll just cut off we'll just use the cutters to cut off the excess tie wrap here. And we'll do that on both of these tie wraps. Ooh, I pushed it off. Here, put the pressure back on this camera here. There we go. All right, super duper. Make sure the focus didn't get off line, and there it is, still good. So the good thing to do is, since this is a manual focus, this has a ring on it that turns in order to get things in focus. I actually put an object here in the center of the build plate and centered the build plate, and that way I can focus my camera in on the object and turn it until everything looks crystal clear. Turn it past one way, past the other way, and turn it back to the center of focus right there. And that's it. Now we'll be able to use the Logitech web software in conjunction with TeamViewer to keep an eye on our builds, keep an eye on our prints while we're away. And that's it. Pretty quick and easy install. Well, there you go. I know these days, like a lot of printers, you know, like the Glowforge and all of that, all the stuff comes with cameras now. If it's one of those higher end printers, but it worked. It worked for the time. So these days I'm using a couple of Ender 3s back there. You can see them. Yeah, the prints that I do these days, I mean, everything prints so fast. Don't use it. Anyway, appreciate the time that you spent with me, as always. If you like the video, like, subscribe, and share so we can keep this stuff going. And hey, we'll see you in the next video.